You all hear me? The people. Okay, so let's share the camera and let's also share the desktop. Okay. So as I was saying, let's go to the platform and let's open the unit 3, okay, chapter number 3. Remember that next week we have the second exam of units 2, 3, and 4. Okay, units 2, 3, and 4. Are you gonna take the exam in here or from the distance? Here, okay, and you don't know. You don't know. I think that Marcelo is going to take advantage of the spare time to have a class. Okay, so we don't have. I mean, you don't have classes with me. So next week I will be here at 6 for the exam, which will be something like 1 hour or something like that. Okay. So the exam is gonna be a questionnaire, a kind of questionnaire on which is done online. So I don't think it's gonna take more than 1 hour. And then you have the other exam with Marcelo. Okay, so are you there? Are you in the activities of Unit 3? I can remember if we, so we did this, we did the listening. Okay. Did you did you complete the rest of the activities? Yes. So, we did the majority of them here in class, and I told you to emphasize this activity, remember? Okay, to concentrate on that. We did the degrees of comparison. This was the past simple. This is just easy. It's just like, okay, you have to identify regular or irregular verbs. And also, this is important more for you personally, okay, because we don't see, there is not an oral exam here in the course, okay, but this is important and it's interesting in terms of pronunciation because of the different pronunciations of the ed ending in English. So for example, if you say here finalize, the ed is finalized with D, okay? However, with need, sorry, needed, so we need to add an extra syllable, okay? So this is, it's important because of that. Or look, for example, started, okay? But you never say stop it. No, this is incorrect, okay? Or ask. Some people say ask it, but this is not English, okay? This is an incorrect pronunciation of the ed ending. So the addition of a syllable is only possible with T, sorry, with T or D. So needed, wait, waited, decide, decided, but only with these two. There is a kind of, I don't think I told you about that, but there is a kind of mnemotechnical thing that um, you can learn. For example, if you see this, for example, the thing, you missed. Did I tell you this last week? Was on the list. Okay, so you see, missed rhymes with lists. Okay, so in pronunciation, that's the pronunciation. Okay, mist, like gorillas in the mist, like the movie. Okay, gorillas en la niebla. O sea, que suena como mists. Okay, mists. And also you can learn something like, for example, I mean, you can invent your own poems. Something like, the work we planned was built on sand. So we have planned rhymes with sand. So here, ed is like a T, and here ed is like a D. Okay, so it's not miss it or plan it. That's incorrect. Okay, it's planned, missed. And then, as I said before, if you have a T, yes. So waited, so +1. Waited. That it is an additional syllable. Or with D is needed. So again, +1 syllable. So it's not that difficult, okay? But there are many people confuse these endings. Okay, like a T. So asked in pronunciation is something like that. More or less, okay? Asked. Anyway, in English, when you have 3 consonants together, you can take out the middle one. So you can pronounce something like that. Asked. Asked. So that K is kind of optional. Okay? I mean, don't worry about that, but try not to get confused with this. Okay, so let's have a look at this activity, because I'm interested in the vocabulary here. Okay, so let us check all together. So this is a leaflet, an information leaflet about Axis Bank. So why you should bank with Axis Bank? In English, the verb, bank is not only a noun, but is also a verb. Okay, which means something like to operate your transactions with an institution, to bank. Who do you bank with, Nuria? Who do you bank with?
Banca March.
Okay, Banca March. And you, if I can ask, who do you bank with?
BBVA.
BBVA, okay.
Santander.
And Santander. They say Santander in English. Bankia, okay. You know that there are many Santander banks in England, yes. In the UK now. I mean, there's been an expansion in the UK. Yes, but it's because I think that there was like a merger of with the Bank of Scotland, I think, with the. Wasn't there a bank called like that, or the Royal, or the something like that? I can't remember. The banks of Scotland. There was a merger. Do you know the meaning of merger in financial? Merger is like the union of 2 companies. When 2 companies become one. For example, I don't know. Before Santander is the fruit of a merger, because it was Santander and then Central Hispano. Do you remember? Or BBVA es un merger, era un merger de BBV y Argentaria. But now Santander in English, in England, Santander is like a merger. If I'm right, it's from the Royal Banks of Scotland. lo absorbió el Santander. Merger. Bueno, merger es como fusión. El takeover es más la absorción. Okay? Take over, o take over.
¿Y por qué se dice Santander?
Because I mean, in English, Spanish names in English are pronounced differently. So, for example, how do you say? Do you know this city? Okay. In English, it's Cadiz. It's not. It's Cadiz with the accent in the second syllable. Okay. Or this, the accent is here. So in English, if you look it up in the dictionary, in the phonetic dictionary, it's not Andalusia, it's Andalusia. Okay, so it's Spanish, yes, but it's been adopted into English, so they changed the pronunciation. So they don't say Cádiz, but Cadiz. They say Andalusia, they say Santander. Okay, and there are others that do not change, like Barcelona, but they pronounce it like the English way. Okay, so you can find this information in the. I mean, if you have there is a good dictionary, which is the Oxford Pocket Dictionary. Have you ever seen that dictionary? That's a very good dictionary, and especially in the new edition, they tell you all these curious things about, and they give a lot of advice on the use of words. I mean, it's a dictionary that I like a lot. The Oxford one. It's old, okay, but it's published and republished once and again. So the latest editions are wonderful. So okay, so let's see. So they offer different bank services. So first they offer account services. So for example, a current account, which is a checking account, cuenta corriente. So open a current account and get a card that you can use to, what did you write there? To take out, okay, to take out. What is the formal equivalent of take out? Withdraw, okay? It's not there, okay, but I will write it here. To take out, to withdraw cash from our many cash machines or when shopping. And if your company, sorry, it's not you, it's if your company pays your salary directly into the account, we don't charge you anything for the account or for the debit card. Another service, a term deposit account. Do you understand that concept? A term deposit account. What is the meaning of term? Term. For example, when you go to school, you have the summer term, the winter term, the spring term, and the fall term. Or also the quarter as well. Summer quarter, the winter quarter. So it's a period of 3 months. Okay. Not in here. Okay, not in here. It doesn't mean 3 months. Term significa trimestre. But not in here. Here is more general. It means a period of time. Okay. Yes. Term. Or it's a division of the year. I mean, because the thing is that term does not mean anything in particular. So it means a limited period of time, a division of time. So for example, here, if you go to university, you can have 2 terms, like 2 semesters. So one term is like 1 period, and the second term is the other period. But if you go to high school, in secondary school, they have 3 terms. They have autumn, then winter, and then spring. and then in summer there are no classes. So term is a limited period of time. So for example here you say a term deposit account. Es una cuenta a un depósito a plazo fijo, something like that. Okay. So if you want to save money, good. Why not use our deposit account? The typical interest rate is 5.25%, and if you keep over 2,000 euros in the account, it won't cost you anything. Sorry, it won't cost you anything. So this is the account services. In the second part, in the second section, financing services. Personal loans, okay, a personal loan. We can lend you money for that new car, a holiday, computer, etc., up to a maximum of 5,000 euros. So that's one service. What is the other product that they offer? Mortgages. The T is silent, okay? You don't pronounce the T. Mortgages. Okay, which is a loan but for your house. And finally, the third category, so account, financing, and extra, or extra services. So do you think you pay too much? What do you pay to the government? Tax. So do you think that you pay too much tax to the government every month? Why not talk to our specialists? They can help you pay less. Okay. Do you understand why tax is like a kind of uncountable noun here? It's like it's uncountable because it refers to taxes in general, okay, but it's singular. Is usually this here refers to income tax, okay? That's why it's singular. Income tax. Do you know what is income tax? Income is the money that you receive because of your salary, because you have bank accounts that produce money, okay? Es la renta, impuestos sobre la renta, income son rentas o rendimientos, como entradas de dinero, okay? Income tax. Good, so is there any problem with the rest of the activities? I mean, we saw the majority of the activities here in class, so irregular verbs, it's mainly irregular verbs and the past tense and comparatives. So if there are no queries, we stop here and we move on to the next chapter, which is Unit 4. So please go to the platform. Well, the people who are here in class have the material in printed form, but for the rest of you, yes, the London Eye. Have you? Yes. Did you write in the London Eye?
It's expensive.
I didn't. I didn't because
No.
because it was so expensive that I.
But if you catch a train, when you go to Oxford,
Yes.
you have
A discount.
Yes. 25%.
Well, it's nice then. That it's nice because it's,
I know.
I know it's expensive.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I'm sure it's a nice view from the top. But okay, next time.
But it is very expensive.
I know maybe it's something like £30 or something, or I can't remember. Okay, I'll check it on the internet. So okay, so here we have unit 4, okay, which is English for traveling. So we're gonna see, if you look at the table of contents here, what we have is vocabulary for, so there is always like a vocabulary section, which is the vocabulary for traveling, okay, and then a more grammar area, which is instructions and directions, so how to give directions in English, and also quantities, quantifies, there is, there are, the plural, and how much, how many. So this is more grammatical, okay. So here we have, in the first section, we have the different ways in English to say viaje, okay? In English, there are many ways of talking about that in English. So we have trip, okay? Mainly there are like three, okay? We have trip, trip journey, and travel. These are like the most typical. And then we have others, okay? So what is the difference between these three? Let's start with these three. For example, travel. Let's start with travel. Is that a verb? Yes. Is it a noun? It is also a noun. So travel is a verb and a noun. So you can say travel or to travel as a verb. Okay? Viajar, but also viajes in general. So travel as a verb is easy. However, travel as a noun is different from trip and different from journey, because travel is uncountable and trip is countable. So if you say, for example, me he ganado un viaje in the lottery or something like that, it would be, I've won a trip. I've won a trip to the Bahamas in a competition. So a trip, because it's just one, okay? One individual, well, it's one set, okay? However, travel is generic. You cannot say one travel, two travels, three travels. It is not possible, okay? You can say something like, as it's here in the booklet, business travel, okay, which means business trips in general, business trips, business travel. Do you see the point? So it's not one travel or two travels. That's not possible in English. Do you understand it, Nuria?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Well, there is one exception. There is one exception to this, which is like a poetic or literary use of travel. For example, if you read Gulliver's Travels, okay, but this is the title of a book, okay? So it's special, it's apart. Here it is countable. Or when you say, well, if you write a poem and you say, well, my travels around the world, this is acceptable, but only because it's poetry or it's literature, but not in ordinary language. So we've seen trip, travel, and what about journey? Can you think of a sentence or a fragment of a sentence with journey? But it's not, okay? It's not, but okay, it's helpful to think that way, because it means to the duration or the time of the traveling time. So if you say, for example, okay, the journey from here to the south is, say, 1 hour by road. So the journey is the duration of the trip. Okay, or you say, well, the journey from home to the office is 10 minutes by bus. So it's more, es como el trayecto, es el viaje pero entendido como duración, journey.
The train.
If you refer to the duration of the trip, is a journey. But if you say, well, this weekend I'm gonna take a train trip to, I don't know, to a nearby village, so that's a trip because it's a kind of excursion. Is that clear? So these are the differences between trip, journey, and travel, which are like the biggest one, which needs to be separated. Then you have others, which are here: travel, trip, journey. Okay, then we have voyage, which is also important.
Right.
Voyage. It comes from French, voyage, but it's pronounced English, okay? Voyage. Voyage. And what is the meaning of voyage? Because it's a special kind of trip.
What?
Okay. For example, by boat, when you travel by boat, and if it's like a very long journey, you can say voyage. But it's usually when you talk about history. Imagine when you speak about the Titanic, okay? So you say the voyage, okay? Or like a transatlantic voyage, which is like a very long trip, okay? A long distance. This is one example. This is one use of voyage, and there is another one, which is for astronauts, for example. The NASA, okay? A voyage is a trip to the outer space, okay? Outside the globe. O sea, un viaje espacial se dice voyage. That's why you have the Voyager, que lo llaman el Voyager o no sé qué, ¿no? It's because voyage es viaje así de la NASA al
Outside the globe.
outside the world, okay? The globe. Voyage.
Eso no es nunca.
Okay, no, it's not very common. Okay, look.
In English, is on street.
Sorry.
In English, you say on street.
On what do you mean? On suite?
On street. In master room.
Ah, yes, in the hotel when you have the.
You write en suite.
Yes, from
But you
French.
say on suite.
On, yes, because you try to pronounce it. You try to pronounce it the French way. So you say on because it's on suite. So to imitate the nasal pronunciation, es que los ingleses para imitar el las nasales, but there are more. For example, en route. Okay, so for example, you say, well, we were driving and we saw a rabbit en route. En la ruta, okay, en route, on. Or also en passant, okay, que es casi lo mismo, es como in passing, de pasada, en passant, yes, in passing, en inglés se dice in passing, pero se puede usar también. Y lo de en suite is when you go to a hotel and you have a bathroom connected to the room, okay, because if you go to a low-cost place, like for example, if you go to a hostel, a youth hostel, to un albergue, maybe you have to share the bathroom. So the bathroom is not in your room, it's in the common areas. So that's not en suite, it's shared, okay? So there are many French expressions in English. So, are you clear about that? The voyage, journey, and etc. So, then we have in page number 3 del manual, you have other terms which are similar to Spanish, okay? So, for example, you have tour, which is like a tour around the city, okay? Like an itinerary, a tour. Normally, when you have it's a city tour, okay? You visit all the tourist attractions and tourist sites. Then we have cruise, like Tom Cruise, okay? Cruise, for example, they cruised all around the Mediterranean for 8 weeks, so a cruise. Expedition is usually scientific, like numerous expeditions to the Antarctic have ended in disaster. Outing, what is an outing? Look at the example, okay? We went on a backpacking outing to the lake. An outing is something like a kind of day trip, a day trip to the countryside for a picnic or for something, an outing. No, I mean, it's similar. Outing and excursion are similar in some way, okay? An excursion, for example, the hotel offers a free excursion to the coast for guests staying for the nights. So outing is like more general, como una salida a donde sea.
Outing es algo de ahí. Punto extra en los comentarios si pones outing, por ejemplo.
So, yes, because if you use excursion, it's like, okay, it's very similar to Spanish. Or if you say trip, okay, we all know the meaning of trip, but outing is like more English. It's a less common word, una palabra menos frecuente, con lo cual más riqueza de vocabulario si la usas, ¿no? En un writing. And then we have safari, okay, which is a very special kind of trip to see wild animals and the wild nature. Okay. Go on safari. It's something special because you don't say a safari, but you say go on safari. I don't know why, okay, but maybe because safari is not English. It's like, I don't know, an African language or something like that. I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. Okay, so this was the first part. Then we have the second part, which is directions. Okay, directions. Here, for example, let me for directions, you need to know prepositions and also the imperative, okay? So if you look at these pictures, okay, these ones, like go straight on, go straight ahead, okay, turn left or turn right, take the first and the right, okay, so you have to be familiar with all these vocabulary. And also, here in the course we will see directions like outdoors and indoors, okay, so in the city, so for example, okay, you need to go from the hospital to or from home to the supermarket, so that's outdoors. But also indoors, so inside the building, imagine that you need to go from security to the media department, so it's directions but inside the building, like take the lift to the second floor, etc., etc. And look at this, okay, I don't know if you were familiar with this, but this is like a picture of a house, okay, American English and British English. So in I don't know what the system is here in the Canary Islands, to be honest, but especially in America, the ground floor is the first floor, A lo que es la planta baja, para nosotros, ya le llaman it's directly the first floor. For example, when I lived in America, I lived in apartment number 207, which was on the second floor, but the second floor in the American system. Cuando yo vivía en Estados Unidos, el piso que tenía era en la segunda planta, era el apartamento 200 y pico, 207. Yes, I remember. And it was almost 5 years ago, hace ya casi 5 años, pero bueno, me acuerdo, because I had a good time there. So. But it's the second floor in America, o sea, la segunda planta entendido allí, que es que yo me asomaba al balcón y ya estaba allí. O sea, que es segunda planta que es primera realmente, okay? Because the base, the ground floor is the first floor. It happens here sometimes, yes. It also happens in here. I've seen buildings with that kind of thing. Well, for here, I think, well, this is the second floor, for example, I think, in the building. Because when you go into the, I mean, when you come in, you have to walk up the stairs. En la entrada hay que subir unas escaleritas, por lo cual ya vas a first floor, okay? So this is the second floor. So this is, I mean, for just for orientation. And then you have here the lists. There's nothing to explain here, okay? It's just you have these little pictures in, on, under, okay? Like little pictures with some with the prepositions. And also, because you have two different kinds of prepositions of place and prepositions of movement. And what is the meaning between these two categories? So, for example, if you say in, is that usually movement or just place? In.
Both of them.
It can be both of them, okay? But if you say into, it's movement only. So you can say something like, I went in the room, I went into the room, okay? If you say into, it's more dynamic than saying in. Or you say, for example,
if you say the ball into the box,
okay,
balls
because
are into the box. Only.
No, but into is movement, so it cannot be combined with be.
In.
You see what I mean? You can say inside, okay? So you can say something like, the ball is inside the box,
Okay.
and that's like permanence.
Okay.
It's not action, it's not movement. I mean, within it's not very, maybe it's not very clear, but it is more transparent when you think of on, okay? If you say, okay, for example, when you go to the airport, okay, well, when you travel and then you get to the baggage reclaim area, okay, then there is a conveyor belt, there is a carousel, okay, so your suitcases are on the belt. Okay, they are moving, but they're not moving, it's the carousel that moves, okay, so they are just on top of the surface.
Okay.
Están encima, así dando vueltas, pero están encima, on. However, there are people, there are loaders, like handlers, baggage handlers, los mozos del aeropuerto y todo eso. So they put the suitcases onto the carousel. So onto is action. Do you see? I know that you're okay, but are you okay with this? ¿Lo entiendes o no?
Sí.
O sea, on es como estático. Es una preposición estática. Sí.
Esto de memoria.
Y esto es de memoria, la verdad es que no queda.
Y hay palabras que llevan uno y llevan otro. Y porque sí.
For example, when you talk about transports, okay, if you say subirse a la guagua, what preposition do we use? Bueno, les he dado una pista. To get on the bus, okay? To get on the bus. And if it's a taxi? To get in a taxi. Okay?
Y es lo mismo, más o menos.
So, and it's a vehicle, kind of, okay?
¿Te lo aprendes o te lo aprendes? ¿Sí? ¿O no?
A bicycle. So, you're on your bicycle, so on, okay? Or a pie, on foot. So it's you have to learn by heart, okay? It's just memory. But I mean, there is a kind of rule. So normally, for example, you say on, for example, you get on a bus, okay, on a plane, on a motorbike, on a train as well, okay, and then you get in a taxi, or in a car, in a van, in a cab, okay. So it's more or less when it's like a small vehicle, when it's like, if it's a saloon car, si es un turismo, como taxi car o saloon car, turismo, un turismo, saloon car, no salon, que significa beauty salon,
Ah, sí.
salón de belleza. Ese es saloon, como en el western, the saloon, okay? So more or less when it's a car, cuando es un coche, así en pues, taxi or cab, so you say in to get in a taxi. And then you get on a bus, on the plane, on the tube, okay? Because it's something like, it's like a kind of platform, okay? So a train is a kind of platform that you have to get onto, and also the bus. So that's more or less the rule. Okay, good. And then finally, what we have here is just quantifiers. That's it, that's grammar, okay? How much, how many? Do you remember how much and how many? How many with countable nouns and how much with uncountable nouns. There is, there are, singular and plural, and then plurals, the rules of plural, for plural formation. Well, here we have a lot of rules, okay? You don't need to study all this. This is just for you for reference. You just learn like the general, or I mean the ones that you need to so for the exam, de cara así al examen para el curso, solo estudiense los que ponen plurales regulares, irregulares
What's the name bench?
y sorry,
Bench.
bench, banco, para sentarse, sí, bench.
Mira, me pregunté cómo se decía eso, porque nunca entendí cómo está en la
Bench, bench. Like for example, in football, there is the bench. El banquillo es bench. I don't like football. Yo no me gusta el fútbol, la verdad, pero cuando en otras clases he dicho bench y me dice algún alumno, ah, sí, como el fútbol. Digo, ah, pues sí.
Entonces, es muy divertido.
So as I say, o sea que para el curso simplemente, digamos, esta primera página que pone regulares e irregulares. Después a partir de la 10, 11, ya eso no hace falta que se lo estudien, okay? I mean, you can read it for yourself, okay? Just if you want to learn more, but this is like more technical and more complex. Which I brethren, yes, it's an irregular plural. When you refer to a religious congregation, you can have brethren as the plural. For example, in Andalusia, yeah. But also, like if you, I mean, in a monastery or something like that. Sorry? No, if you have monks in a monastery, in a convent, they are brethren. Okay, or monjes, they refer to brethren or brothers. I mean, it's sorry, Catholic, I assume, Roman Catholic convents or monasteries. It's an old word, okay? It's an old plural, so that's why. So, I mean, I don't think you will have any problem here because the new thing is the prepositions, maybe because it's the list and the verbs for the things for traveling, okay? The vocabulary for traveling. So now I'm gonna ask you to complete here in class some of the activities. So if you go to the platform, not you because you have the paper material, but the rest of the people, Antonio, Araceli, and company, you can have a look at the activities. And we're going to do it's opening. Let's be patient. Okay, try to do exercise 1 and exercise 2, okay, here in class. And now we check all together. Okay, if you have finished, let's check. So, number one, Nuria, could you please read? So, choose the most appropriate word. Part one.
She's away from business.
Trip, very good. Elena, two.
My journey to work takes an hour.
Takes an hour. My journey, so which is the duration of the trip, takes an hour. Number three, I have to pick up the tickets from whom? Nuria? From the travel agent. So usually travel, when it's combined with another noun, we use travel. So travel documents, travel agency, travel travel expenses, gastos de viaje, okay, travel. Number four, I'm going to travel by plane. We went on a day, Nuria? Not journey. Okay, it takes a day. But while traveling, a day is time. I agree. But it's not the travel time. It's not the whole duration of the. So you go there, you spend some time there, and then you come back. But the I don't know if you see what I mean. I mean, traveling is only when you go and when you come back. So the stay there is not traveling. So it's trip. We went on a day trip to see the sights. A day trip. Number six.
The journey by road is very
Okay, the journey by road is very slow. Good. Seven, maybe, I don't know if you know about that. The American spelling is
slow.
traveling one or double L? One L, okay, one L in American English. While the British spelling is traveling with double L. American English always try to be less sophisticated or less complex in rules, in terms of rules.
It's bad English.
Sorry, bad.
Yes.
Well, it's an evolution of English.
No.
Maybe it's the future of English. I don't know. It's like a possible evolution of. Well, we don't know. We don't know. So 8. I'm going to take a year out to not trip because we need a verb. Travel. Travel is the only verb here. Excursion is a noun. Trip is a noun, and travel is a verb. And finally, the high-speed train will cut the journey time by an hour. Journey time. Not trip. Okay, here you could say travel time. Okay, travel time could be possible, but not cruise time. Okay, or trip time. That trip time is not correct here. But travel time could be okay, because it's the time that you need for traveling. So travel time. but journey would be better, I think. So the second activity, you have definitions of cruise, flight, journey, tour, trip, and voyage. So what's number one? When you travel from one place to another by road, rail, etc. Journey. Number two, flight. Three, voyage. When you travel by ship to a place far away, to a distant, a remote place. So far away, yes, far away from here. So number four, when you travel by ship, but stop at several places. Cruise. Number five, tour. And six, trip. Okay, you go somewhere for a holiday or on business, you stay there and come back again. Okay, you can do this for, sorry?
No entiendo el voyage. Muy bien.
Voyage.
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 Un viaje muy lejos, ¿qué significa? Por ejemplo.
And, but by water. By water. Por agua. O sea, es como una...
¿Un crucero para y un viaje por barco no para?
No es voyage, es como una travesía, algo así. A voyage.
Si te recorres el Támesis, ¿lo puedes hacer? ¿Eso qué? Decía Journey cuando yo compré el ticket. Porque le pedí por Journey y el tío me dijo, ok, da, y dice Journey.
It's not a voyage, okay?
No sé,
It's,
no lo utilizamos nunca, ¿verdad?
it's a kind of mini cruise, but
no sé cómo...
it's a boat trip, something like that, okay? A boat trip. Como un viaje en barco y ya está. Or a boat tour. Como un tour en barco, something like that, okay? A boat trip or boat tour. I think there is a movie called Boat Trips, isn't there? No hay una película que se llama Boat Trip, de esas de Euro Trip, de esas cómicas así, comedias americanas, Americanisms. Usually it's also, it has to do with history, okay? For example, Christopher Columbus made voyages to America.
Okay.
Voyages. Son como travesías históricas, largas. Okay, so you can do number three, okay, for at home. Also, you can do number four, so 3 and 4. So 3 is again trek, like trekking boots. Trekking, trek. Trek is like to walk in the mountain, in the countryside. So you have sightseeing, que es como de turismo, a trade fair, feria de comercio, a study tour, a trek, a conference, a pilgrimage. This is for a religious motivation, a pilgrimage. For example, if you go to Israel, you can go on a pilgrimage, or Muslim people go to Mecca for as a kind of pilgrimage. Yes, once in. Well, you're from Ceuta, so you're more familiar with that. I assume that you have more contact with Muslim people, or so. But so pilgrimage is like a religious trip. It can be Muslim or Christian or whatever. Okay, when you go to a sanctuary or something. Sightseeing, ver las vistas. Es como tú. No, but it's not. Yes. Sightseeing is when you see the tourist attractions of the city. Sightseeing. Es como ver lo que las vistas, lo que hay que ver, las atracciones turísticas, the tourist sites. Okay. Pilgrimage, a day trip, a festival, a weekend break, a familiarization or fun trip, an incentive tour. It's like a bonus offered by the company, como un viaje que te regala la empresa. Okay, well, you can complete this at home. Vamos a, para ir haciendo un poco una selección de algunos. Entonces, este de los viajes lo pueden hacer en casa. Yo les pondré las soluciones todas en la plataforma. The reading you can also do. This is a brochure, a leaflet, okay, with some information. And there is this listening that we can do in here, if there's time. But I would prefer to complete 6. Okay, well, let's go to 6, okay, first, before the listening. So could you please go to page, well, it's page number 6, exercise 6. This one in which you have a map. Let's leave the listening for later because, well, I think that we have time, but let's do this, okay? Which is, so, que quiero hacer como un poco de lo de los viajes, algo también de directions, de preposiciones y todo eso. Y luego ya lo último hacemos el listening, pero para que toquemos un poco todos los apartados. So I'm going to ask you to complete this one, okay? So this is a map of of a hospital area, okay? And you have to complete the email with the prepositions that you think are right. Okay, so try to, you have to follow the map. Have you finished? Okay, if you have finished, you can do number 7 as well. So skip the listening and go to number 7, which is this one, okay? It's a little map, and then you have to... But you have finished, Nuria? Yes? Okay, so let's check then, and then we can continue. Okay, so dear Mr. Keane, here are the directions you asked for from the railway station to the hospital administration department. Leave the railway station at the main entrance. Turn right, okay? What about the people at home? Did you write right, Nuria? What did you write? Sorry? No, I mean, just look at the map, okay? If you're here, the railway station, so we're here, we want to go from the railway station to the admin department. So first, we have to turn right when you leave the station. No, but you're traveling on the train, okay? You get to the railway station. Okay, you leave the station, so you go out, and immediately after you turn right, okay? Because it's in that direction. So don't turn left because you're going the reverse way, okay? Hola, Frank. So leave the railway station at the main entrance, turn right and walk along Station Street for about 100 meters. Go. Only one word. Go on the... It's not really go on, okay? What about the people at home? Los que están en casa, what did you write? Across. Across is more coherent here, okay? Go across the road because look, you're here. You're on the pavement, so go across the road because the bus stop, I mean, this is England, so it's the other. The traffic is in the reverse direction. So if you want to go in this direction, you have to take the bus here. ¿Lo entienden? Como el tráfico fluye al revés, pues claro, para ir hacia acá, tienes que coger la guagua aquí. Okay, because it's so turn across. Go to, but it's not go to the road. You go to the bus stop, okay? But you have the road. What do you do with the road? You go across, okay? So you go across the road to the number 45 bus stop. Then take the bus to the hospital. Get off the bus opposite the hospital. So we get up here, okay? And now, walk along Byron Avenue, along, let me just write it, go across here, not into, because into is when you're, for example, when you say, turn right into Station Street. Es como gira a la derecha para entrar, para meterte en la calle tal. Okay. Yes, but you're walking along, okay? So you're not moving, you're not changing, you're not turning, okay? You can say walk along, and also, very English, walk down Byron Avenue. Walk down, walking down the street. Have you ever seen, I mean, heard that? No, you have heard walking down the street.
Downtown Avenue.
Sorry? Sorry? Okay, because you know the meaning of downtown. It's not exact, it's the city center. Downtown New York, downtown San Francisco, that's central. In England they say central. Central London, Central Paris, Central Rome, Central Barcelona. In America, they use the word downtown. Like downtown Washington, so that's the city center of the, okay. Down, I mean, the word down here is not como camina calle abajo, no, eso no es down. Down es camina por, ya está, es por. So walk, when you say, I was walking down the street, no es caminaba calle abajo, yo caminaba por la calle. An American, it's a British and American. Along, that's perfect, along. For example, if you say, well, last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, there was the Sunday shopping party, and people like to walk down Triana Street. Okay, le gusta pasear por, porque no hay otra forma de decir for en inglés. No puedes decir walk for, ni es down. O down. So cuando tú dices, ve por esa calle es go down. For example, ve por el pasillo. Go down the corridor. Que no es ve pasillo abajo, que no hay pasillos que vayan abajo. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to express the idea of downward direction, in English you have the kind of expressions uphill and downhill. Downhill. Downhill es como calle abajo, calle arriba, aunque bueno, es como colina arriba, colina abajo, ¿no? Uphill, and downhill. So if you say walk downhill, es como camina cuesta abajo, cuesta arriba, cuesta abajo. Hill significa colina, ¿vale? Pero en la ciudad no es la colina, que es hay pendiente. Okay. O sea que cuidado con esos falsos de down, de que parece que es abajo. It's not in here, okay? Not in here. So it's a kind of false friend in some way, yes. Alone is perfect, okay? No, no. I mean, you have to be familiar with the prepositions, okay? But well, I will give you the options, so you can you choose the option, okay? So, okay, so walk along Byron Avenue, walk down Byron Avenue, and take the first left, the first street, okay, the first left. The door to the admin department is on your left. The office is next to the hospital library. The corridor. Remember the meaning of library? No, because with near you don't use to. Con near no se puede usar la preposición. Near es cerca, ¿no? Y next to es también, como junto a, it's like by. But there are some, the office is, the thing is that next to, I mean, near is that the distance is near, okay? So, but next to is just more or less. So it's not like it's not far away from here, okay? It's not a long distance, but next to is like, okay, one building, and then you have next to the hospital there is the parking structure, or el garaje, or something like that. So it's junto a, like maybe they share a wall, como puerta con puerta, something like that. Okay, and finally, so, well, you can complete all the rest at home. This is not difficult at all. O sea, esta parte no es nada difícil, la pueden trabajar sin problema. But would you like to do the listening? Okay, which one do you prefer? This one, it has to do with travel agencies. Hay uno de agencias de viaje. And then you have this listening about directions indoors. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, here in class, because I want to give you a break. And if we do the other one, there's no break. Si hacemos el otro, se gasta el descanso porque hay que copiar mucho. But this is okay. Okay. So here you have a map, a plan of a hotel. And we have letters A, B, C, D, and E, okay? And these are the places: the bar, the fitness center, the lounge. Remember the meaning of lounge? Lounge. For example, at the airport, you've got the VIP lounge, or you can also have the departure lounge, or the arrivals lounge, which is like the area, the terminal. A lounge or a lounge bar is usually like a room with sofas, couches, like a kind of sitting room for relaxing and sitting comfortably. Couches, sillones, couch. Couch. This is French, couch. Well, not this, el chaiselong. Couch is como sofá, sillón. For example, don't you know what is the meaning of a couch potato? Couch potato lifestyle. Oops. Una papa de sofá. It's people who don't like moving, who don't like sports, who are all the time sitting on the sofa watching TV in front of the computer. So they're lazy. They don't move, okay? Es como vida sedentaria. Una persona sedentaria se le llama un couch potato. So, couch means sofa, okay? Good. So the lounge, the hair salon, as we saw before, okay, is like the beauty center, the hairdresser, and then the sauna. The sauna. So let's see. For the people who are at home, well, I think that you can listen to the conversation from here, but the listening track is on the platform as well. No, sorry, this should be, sorry, it's not track 1, it's track number 2.
Unit 6. Where is it?
Okay.
1.
Excuse me, where's the bar? It's on the ground floor next to the restaurant.
2. Would you like to use the hotel fitness center?
Yes, please. How do I get there?
It's opposite the swimming pool on the first floor. 3.
Hello, Jane, good to see you. Where's Mike? He's waiting for us in the lounge. Come on, it's next to reception.
4.
Excuse me, is this the way to the hair salon? Yes, it is. It's over there behind the hotel shop.
5. Could you tell me where the hotel sauna is? Yes, it's in the fitness center.
Okay,
Yes.
Nuria? Or once again? Okay, so let's check all together. What we can do is I'll play number 1 and we stop and we say the correct answer.
Unit 6. Where is it? 1.
Excuse me, where's the bar? It's on the ground floor next to the restaurant.
So, which letter? B. So it's next to the restaurant on the ground floor. The restaurant and the bar. Then number 2,
2.
the fitness center.
Would you like to use the hotel fitness center?
Yes, please. How do I get there?
It's opposite the swimming pool on the first floor.
So letter D. The fitness center is like the gym, okay? But it's like an alternative name for gym.
3.
Hello, Jane. Good to see you. Where's Mike? He's waiting for us in the lounge. Come on. It's next to reception.
So A, okay? Lounge A. Lounge is usually like, for example, at the reception hall, there is a lounge for waiting people.
4.
Excuse me, is this the way to the hair salon? Yes, it is. It's over there behind the hotel shop.
So C, behind the hotel shop. You see the shop there, and
5.
of course now the sauna.
Could you tell me where the hotel sauna is? Yes, it's in the fitness center.
It's in the fitness center. So it's E. You need to know D in order to get BE, okay? So the fitness center. And are you, sorry? Sauna,
Could you tell me where the hotel sauna is?
the
Yes,
hotel sauna.
it's in the fitness.
So could you tell me where the hotel sauna is? Is, okay, where, because it's an indirect question. So it's not, where is the sauna? Where is the hotel sauna? No, it's, could you tell me where the hotel sauna is? So it's indirect. The question is, could you tell me? And then the other thing is like a statement, so it reverts back to get the standard order. And are you familiar with the vocabulary of these places? So for example, the office, reception, cafe, restaurant, lobby, okay, is like the entrance hall, the shop, the florists, the newsagent, the newsagent. Ok. Pero no es una agencia de noticias, yo no lo tengo. El kiosco, como el kiosquero, something like that, del periódico. And then telephones. And then on the first floor we have the changing rooms. What are the changing rooms? Okay. Depending, for example, this is, yes, this is the changing room. Yes, okay, the locker room, okay. This is because it has to do with sports, okay, and swimming, it's the changing room. But if you go to a shop, you can say changing room, but also dressing room or fitting room. Fitting, because you check if your clothes, if the clothes fit. Es más, no es vestuario de los cambiadores, okay. En la tienda no es el cambiador. Puedes decir changing room, pero hay otro más apropiado que es fitting room, que es como probador, o dressing room, que es simplemente como vestuario. You can have, for example, a kind of dressing room at home if you have a mansion or a palace. Okay, so the sunbeds, you know the name of sunbeds? If you go to the beach or to the swimming pool, and then you have the business center, the conference, so this is all business facilities, business services and facilities. So conference room, the business center, and then the boardroom. The boardroom, so look at the boardroom. Tienen una board,
Sí, bien.
así grande, ¿no? ¿Y qué es board?
La mesa de concepto, no sé cómo se llama.
De juntas. Sala de juntas, board. Porque es la mesa, esa mesa así grande para reuniones. It's like a meeting room, okay? Board, donde se reúne el consejo de administración, que es the board of directors, the board room. Okay, so we finish here. So remember, ya corto aquí para que tenga un pequeño descanso. La semana que viene entonces es el examen. ¿Van a hacer el examen en la misma modalidad que la otra vez? Entonces, si lo van a hacer... yo hablé antes con Marcelo, entonces me dijo que él la semana que viene hace el examen y después hace clase. Pero conmigo no va a ser clase, o sea, simplemente venimos a las 6, hacemos el examen y luego ya, pues, yo creo que a las 7 hemos terminado. Entonces, hola Tania. Pasa. Entonces, de 7 a 8, pues pueden tener como un rato para repasar o lo que sea. Yo no voy a dar clase porque ya realmente solo nos queda el tema 5 y el 6, que son un poquito más largos. A lo mejor van a ser dos sesiones para el tema 5 y otras 2 para el tema 6, pero como todavía queda tiempo, pues en el examen final, no lo sé, a lo mejor lo pongo.
Pero que no sea de división, por favor.
No, será, nunca lo he puesto, pero porque a veces ni siquiera he podido estar yo presente. Yo sí estoy, ¿no? Lo que pasa es que a lo mejor, ustedes no son muchos, pero el año pasado eran un montón, entonces a lo mejor... Claro, yo a veces ha pasado que nos tenemos que poner en varias clases, entonces al final he insistido en hacer listening porque si no tendría que ir, ahora le hago listening a este grupo y después al otro, a lo mejor, pero bueno, no lo sé, yo lo voy a pensar porque a lo mejor pongo alguno. Entonces, bueno, si el que para estar mentalizada, bueno, por supuesto, sí, no son tampoco, por supuesto, todos los listening que yo mando aquí los pueden hacer, o sea que no.
Y me examinó unas cosas que no entendía. Pero suspendí, tío. No, 90 pavos que me costó.
Ya,
Y suspendí porque no tenía la mujer.
bueno, tranquila, quítate ese.
No.
Bueno, solo simplemente para cortar, para terminar. Entonces, si yo voy a tomar el mismo sistema que la otra vez, o sea, si no me comunican nada, yo entiendo que lo hacen, pues los que me dijeron antes online, pues lo siguen haciendo online. Si los que hacen... ¿El qué? No, vale. Los de casa, vale, lo tienen claro entonces. O sea que si quieren, para no tener que estar enviándome email ni nada como la otra vez, yo les pongo a cada uno, les asigno online o presencial, igual que la última vez. Si alguien va a cambiar con respecto a la última vez, entonces ya que me lo diga para yo cambiarle la asignación, porque yo tengo que crear como... En la plataforma tengo que crear como 2 grupos o 2 exámenes y dar permiso a unos para que entren con más tiempo y a otros para que entren con menos. ¿Vale? Bueno, pues lo dejamos aquí. De todas formas, si tienen alguna duda o lo que sea, me pueden preguntar durante la semana. Y bueno, los cuestionarios. Yo he abierto ya el cuestionario del tema 4. No le he puesto todavía fecha límite, pero bueno, háganlo porque sirve de ejercicio para el examen. Y luego ya la semana que viene, cuando pase el examen, entonces ya les pongo a lo mejor una fecha límite para entregarlo. Pero ahora simplemente pues entren como por probar y ya está. Porque el examen va a ser un cuestionario pues muy parecido a esas preguntas que aparecen ahí. No las mismas, pero similares. Bueno, pues voy a parar entonces.